All right, today we're going to dive into the story of a goddess who is revered by more than 1 billion people, a figure who represents wealth, good fortune, and some really profound spiritual power. We are, of course, talking about the goddess Lakshmi.
Every single year, the world just lights up for Diwali. It's this incredible time of joy, family, and light triumphing over darkness. But right at the heart of this huge, beautiful festival, there's one key figure. So who is she?
Well, that goddess is Lakshmi. And yet you might know her as the deity of wealth and good fortune, but her story, it reveals that real prosperity is so much more than just what's in your bank account.
And this is really the key to understanding her power. It's all about balance. On one hand, she governs what's called artha. That's your material well-being, the success and resources you need to get by in the world. But on the flip side, she's also about a deep spiritual richness, the kind that leads to true freedom. Getting this balance is how we get to know Lakshmi.
So where does a goddess this powerful even come from? Well, her origin story is honestly one of the wildest tales in Hindu mythology. We're talking gods, demons, a literal cosmic tug of war. It's epic.
The story is called the Samudra Manthan. So, picture this. The gods have lost all their power. The god Vishnu comes up with this plan. They need to churn the great ocean of milk to get the nectar of immortality. So they call a temporary truce with their rivals, the demons. They use a whole mountain as the churning rod and a giant serpent as the rope. And get this, they churned for 1,000 years. All sorts of treasures came out of the ocean. But then, rising from the foam on a perfect, beautiful lotus was the radiant goddess Lakshmi herself. She then chose Vishnu as her partner for eternity, bringing together the forces of preservation and prosperity.
This kind of detail is what makes Hindu art so incredible. Nothing is there by accident. Every single element in a depiction of Lakshmi tells a part of her story and what she stands for. So let's break down what all these symbols actually mean.
Okay, so when you see a picture or statue of Lakshmi, you're almost always going to see 4 key things. She has 4 arms, she's on a lotus flower, gold coins are flowing from her hand, and there are often 2 elephants with her. Each one tells a part of her story.
Let's start with her 4 arms. They actually stand for the 4 Purusharthas, which are basically the 4 main goals for a good, fulfilling life in Hinduism. There's Dharma, which is all about living righteously, Artha, the pursuit of wealth and success, Kama, which is desire and passion, and finally, Moksha, the ultimate goal of spiritual liberation. Now, that lotus flower she's sitting on, it's a huge deal. Think about it. A lotus grows up through mud and muck, but when it blossoms on the surface, it's totally pure and beautiful. It's this perfect symbol for being able to live in the material world without letting its messiness corrupt you. It's about striving for spiritual purity. And of course, we got to talk about the gold coins. They're always flowing from our hand, right? But this isn't just about money. It represents an endless abundance of all the good stuff in life. Everything from success and resources to good health and knowledge. And finally, those elephants you often see with her, they're all about royal power, strength, and authority. They represent the rewards you get from hard work and living a good life. And when you see them spraying water, that's a symbol of life and abundance being constantly renewed. But this idea that prosperity is more than just one thing, it goes even deeper. Lakshmi doesn't just have one form. She can appear in different ways, each one helping with a very specific part of our lives.
In fact, she has 8 main forms. Together, they're known as the Lakshmi. You can think of them as 8 different flavors of success or abundance. Each one looks after a unique kind of prosperity that someone might need, whether it's courage or kids or knowledge.
And this is what's so cool about it. It shows how rich and varied the idea of a good life really is. So you have Dhana Lakshmi for, money and wealth. But then you have Vidya Lakshmi for knowledge. There's Santana Lakshmi, who blesses a family with children. And then there's Veera Lakshmi, who gives you courage when you're facing something tough. It just proves that prosperity has so many different faces.
And she's not just limited to these 8 divine forms. See, her partner, Vishnu, sometimes comes down to earth as an avatar to help keep the balance. And whenever he does, Lakshmi comes right along with him, taking on a human form of her own to help out with his mission.
And that right there brings us full circle, back to Diwali. Because the most famous story connected to the festival is all about one of Lakshmi's best-known human forms.
Okay, so in the epic story, the Ramayana, Lakshmi is born as a princess named Sita. She marries Rama, who's an avatar of Vishnu.
while Sita gets kidnapped by a demon king, and Rama has to go on this epic long quest to save her. Diwali is the massive celebration of when they finally come home, victorious. The people of their kingdom lit rows and rows of lamps to guide their way.
And that's why people do what they do during Diwali. That whole tradition of cleaning the house top to bottom, decorating with beautiful patterns, and lighting all those lamps, it's all to welcome Lakshmi into the home, to invite her blessings of prosperity for the year ahead. And acts of charity and service are also a huge part of the festival.
So we've talked about wealth and light and winning battles, but there's one gift from Lakshmi that tops them all. It's considered the absolute ultimate form of prosperity. And that gift is moksha, spiritual liberation. It means finally being free from that endless cycle of being born, dying, and being reborn. And this is her greatest gift because, let's face it, material things come and go, but moksha? That's forever. It's the ultimate spiritual win. So all of this kind of leaves us with a big question. In a world that's so often just about, well, stuff, the story of Lakshmi really pushes us to think a little deeper. So I'll leave you with this. Beyond just wealth, what does true prosperity really mean to you?